Read The Rising of the Shield Hero Chapter 231, Miscalculations. Sparks fly as Keel's claws brush lightly against my shield. Though she can't overcome my defense, it doesn't feel good to intercept the momentum from a full-body attack. All of the attacking slaves' attacks seem to be centered on me. I've narrowly managed to block everything without taking damage, but I wonder how much longer I can keep this up. As I receive attacks, I feel the curse afflicting them, dealing additional damage to me. It feels like my internal organs are twisting around each other. I feel dizzy. Damn. At this rate, my body isn't going to hold up. All is in the name of justice. Nyakin must be defeated. Keel, you better remember this later. Even if you were brainwashed, that doesn't mean I'm lessening your punishment for this at all. Naofumi. This justice crap is getting annoying. Aren't they getting something wrong here? I'm no saint. I'm no philanthropist. Of course I would use all of you people. I mean, aren't I always saying it? Get back to work, and such. No, the normal Keel should be well aware of that. I should think of the person in front of me as a separate entity controlling Keel's body. What should I do? Should I use wrath and turn everything to ash? You're wrong. Naofumi-san is definitely not evil. Rishia cautions Keel with a strong tone of voice. What? I didn't know she could speak with such a tone. Naofumi-chan, should this Oni-san do something radical to gain control of the situation? Sadana. What do you plan on doing? Naofumi. By the way, Sadana is level 75. Her stats are also quite high. Honestly, if you don't count Raphtalia and Pyro, her stats are some of the highest I've seen. They're higher than Keel's. Her weak points are speed and attack range. But, when in the water, these weaknesses disappear. Just a little. Sadana. I asked what you were going to do. Naofumi. Let's see. The result of this plan will probably make you forgive Keel and the others. Sadana. Oi. You couldn't be, Naofumi. I who has understood the source of power command. Let the truth once again manifest itself. O lightning, shoot down all that stand before me. Aldria Fatch chain lightning. From the tip of Sadana's harpoon, several streams of lightning bright enough to cause permanent eye damage shoot out towards the brainwashed children. Children. Keel and the others fall to the ground. The lightning continues for a while. I smell the scent of burnt hair. Sadana, you, Naofumi. It's alright. I controlled the output. If I was serious, it would look even more amazing. Sadana. I see. TL, Naofumi uses sarcastic slang here. Is everyone alive? Naofumi. We're fine, but some people are beginning to spout words similar to Keel-kun. Rishia. So they awakened to the wonderful world of justice. Is this some sort of religious cult? The situation is quite unfavorable. Brother of the Shield, prepare yourself. Slave, TL, this is not Keel. So there were still some hiding around. More of the missing children begin pouring into the village. Damn it. They're putting my subordinates to good use. They're definitely cutting their losses here. Even if Itsuki was consumed by his curse, I doubt he would have enough power to beat me and my subordinates head-on in battle. But, the people standing before me are those I personally raised and gave stat growth increases to. These children are already leagues above the average knights and adventurers. And for many of them, like Raphtalia, this is their homeland. Normally, this would be a group that even entire countries would hesitate to challenge. I have to congratulate him for the brilliance of his idea, but it's quite inhumane. He probably lured out the weakest of slaves, brainwashed them, sent them back, and had them bring their friends. In the end, everyone would happily try to kill me. He probably spent a long time planning this. This really is hitting below the belt. Among the 7 sins, I wonder which one would grant such an ability. Is this all of the slaves that went missing? Naofumi. No. I think it's less than half. Rishia. As I thought. Honestly, If he suddenly gained such an amazing fighting force, he would start off by spreading it out. Also, that carriage is Naofumi. The slaves were carried off towards it, but the battle's been going on for a while, and I've seen no activity from it. Is Itsuki there? Did he miss his chance to make a dramatic entrance? I wonder. Something seems fundamentally wrong here. I have a bad feeling about this. How long do you think Keel's group will be knocked out for? Naofumi. You shouldn't expect too much. Keel-chan's become quite strong. Sadana. Then we'd better investigate that carriage while we can. We may find the source. Naofumi. Naofumi-san, Rishia. What is it, Rishia? Naofumi. Rishia. Is she going to ask me to spare Itsuki? Female knight did something like that as well. Well, it depends on the situation. If I find a way to free Itsuki of his curse, I may be able to use him later. And from his ability to cause such chaos, I think the boy will be quite useful. At least in battle. I wait for Rishia's question, but it doesn't come. If you've got nothing to say, then we're heading out. Naofumi. Okay. Rishia. I guess she's dealing with many conflicted emotions. I wonder what she'll do when she meets Itsuki. Anyways, I hope it doesn't come to her betraying me. That would really be a pain. I'll have to use the slave seal to stop her then. I open Rishia's slave management screen just in case. Oi, whoever's hiding in the carriage. Just get out already. Naofumi. I shout out as I approach it. Is there really no one there? That can't be. From Keel and the others' movements, there's got to be something here. Oi. Naofumi. This isn't getting anywhere. Sadana, go cast your magic on that carriage. Naofumi. Are you sure? Sadana. I gave enough warning. Use your full power on this one. Naofumi. I guess there's no helping it. Sadana. Sadana approves my proposal to attack the carriage. Who has understood the source of power command. Let the truth once again manifest itself. Rain down thunder on my enemies. Driafach thunderbolt. Thunder sounds out as a bolt of electricity strikes the carriage. And a human figure quickly scrambles out just in the nick of time. What? Naofumi. It's not Itsuki. The figure held a cane in his hands and wore a long robe. On his head was a needlessly pointy hat. It was the stereotypical clothing of a mage you would find in a child's storybook. The robe had intricate embroidery stretched over the trim, and the cane gave off an expensive feeling. I can tell from a glance that the hat was also made of good materials. But the thing that surprised me the most was the fact that the man was not Itsuki. He was clearly a mage of some sort. I have the feeling that I've seen him somewhere before, but I can't remember where. And, he pulls out a dagger glowing with a strange light from the chest area of the robe. You bastard. Devil of the shield. Treating your own subordinates and ours in such an inhumane manner. Mage. Who was this guy again? I'm pretty sure I've seen him, somewhere. He seems to know me, but, is he the guy Ren mentioned as being Witch's companion? That means that there's a possibility I may have met him before. I have some familiarity, but it's just not coming to me. Could it be Rishia? Rishia's face becomes increasingly pale. What? Do you know him? As I thought about it, I remembered. I'm pretty sure this guy was the mage in Itsuki's party. The time I spent with that party was short, but I think this guy may have been there. I do feel a little guilty, but you can't expect me to remember every little stupid detail. The reason Ren didn't remember clearly was because he went off and did solo play on Kalmyra. He probably only saw him for a few minutes. I shouldn't be criticizing him for it though. Besides armor, I don't remember any of them. I mean, they all said pretty much the same things. To put it bluntly, I don't remember anyone from Itsuki's party. But this is quite a miscalculation. The contagious nature of the brainwashing was one thing, but Itsuki isn't even here. And the wound Amaya's uncle received was not by Bao. Keel seemed to refer to more than one person when she spoke as well. Did I think it was Itsuki due to the continued utterance of the word justice? No, there's still a possibility he's involved in this. Okay, I'll capture this guy and make him spill everything. Welst-san. Why are you in a place like this? Rishia. He had a name like that? First I'm hearing of it. It's not like I care or anything. Among the other hero's companions, there are very few that I even remember. And wasn't Itsuki abandoned by his companions? I assumed as such when I saw him acting independently, but I guess I should have investigated further. Ren's died, and Motoyasus ran away. I see. So Itsuki's companions survived. Then, why was Itsuki mentally broken and fighting in Zeltberg? Why? That's what I should be saying. Rishia, to think you would be conspiring with the Devil of the Shield. What could you be thinking? No, the ones who drove Rishia out were you people. You were there, you saw everything. You can't just conveniently forget that at this point in time. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero chapter 232, Effort. This is, the village Naofumi-san built from the ground up. I am merely here to assist him. Welst-san, so you survived. Rishia. I find no joy in having found you like this. So you assisted in establishing this filthy demi-human village? That's an insult. An act of rebellion towards all of the proud people of Melromark. I need to punish you. Welst. The mage person begins chanting, and Keel's group's injuries are healed. He realized that his own half-assed magic would be useless against us. Keel and the others slowly pick themselves up off the ground like zombies. Perhaps because they're not fully conscious yet, they sway back and forth as they walk. But if we attack them anymore, I can't guarantee the slave's safety. Where is Itsuki? Is this situation his doing? Naofumi. That fake who pretended to preach justice? Why would I speak with such a demon? Welst. Fake who pretended to preach justice? So there's been a shift in the hierarchy of the group. It seems they didn't get along as well as I thought. The possibility that they were working with Itsuki has decreased. Itsuki may even be completely unrelated. Though he's probably the instigator of much of it. Please tell me. What happened to everyone in Itsuki-sama? Rishia. Why must I answer to evil? Now then, my messengers of justice, rid this world of the source of evil. Welst. In response to the mage's shout, the slaves begin swarming around me. Messengers of justice, we're going to chant choral magic. Welst. Who has understood the source, slave? What? I feel the magic in the air gathering and solidifying. I've heard a bit about choral magic from Sadana and the magic shopkeeper, but it shouldn't be something with an output this high. Perhaps it is because all of their minds are thinking the exact same thing or that their chants are in perfect sync. I prepare myself for a large impact. Please stop it now. Rishia. Rishia appears right in front of the mage person. Why so fast? Welst. It's a speed the past Rishia wouldn't even have dreamed of. This mage must have been imagining the old Rishia and underestimating her. However, with this, you will become my follower. Welst. The mage faces Rishia and thrusts a glowing dagger at her. Your movements are too easy to read. Rishia. Rishia easily dodges the attack and uses her own rapier to knock the dagger into the air. Damn. Who has, Welst. Zevate elemental blow. Rishia. Elemental magic. I believe it's a synthesis of fire, water, earth, and wind magic. It's apparently hard to control, and there are few people with the necessary magic attributes to use it. A rainbow mass of light slams into the mage's chest and sends him spinning into the ground. It gives off a feeling like that ninjutsu involving a sphere of wind. TL, Raiznan from Naruto. The magic shopkeeper tried hard to get Rishia to learn it. She said that there were very few people with the potential to use it. But, it was the perfect magic for the jack of all trades, Rishia. How absurd. Could this be the extent of the devil's power? Welst. My power? No, this power is the accumulation of all of Rishia's effort. Naofumi. It isn't stats. Of course, stats always help, but Rishia put all of her being into getting as strong as she is now. I won't let you write it off as my power. The mage who was the center of the choral magic collapses, and the chant ends in failure. However, that doesn't mean the slaves' attacks have stopped. They begin attacking me with physical blows. If I use any more magic, Keel and the others will be in trouble. What should I do? Sadhana. They've gathered in such a small area. I can just capture them now. Neofumi. Shield Prison. I activate Shield Prison with myself as the center. Ah. Neofumi. I'm locked away in the dark cage with the slaves, but they're still attacking me. What's the meaning of this? That hurt. Don't hit me there. Don't stab me. It's not piercing me, but the curse hurts. And for the next 5 minutes, Keel's group treated me as a sandbag. It seems that the brainwashing contagion doesn't work on me. At least that's something to be happy about. As the cage disappears, I find Atlas and the others watching us. Neofumi-sama, Keel-san, and the others aren't returning to normal. Atlas. That seems to be the case. Can you identify the cause? Neofumi. I cast healing magic on myself as I start dodging the attacks. The power influencing their actions from the outside was cut off by Neofumi-sama's cage, but the second the cage disappeared, Atlas. I see. So if it's just one person like Imaya's uncle, I can save them, but it's impossible for this large group. If one of the candles goes out, the other ones will simply relight it. Something like that. The sinister powers encircling the brainwashed form a spider web-like structure in between them while in the cage. That's why I can't dispel the brainwashing on a group. This is truly a pain. I guess we'll have to deal with that guy first. He seems to be the cause anyways. Our first priority should be to draw information from that man. Can you get these guys off of me? Neofumi. Yes. Can I be a little rough? Sadhana. No more lightning. Neofumi. I know. Sadhana. On Sadhana's signal, the aquatic demi-human slaves rise from the water. Now that I think about it, they were living in the ocean with her. And they begin chanting choral magic. And for some reason, the unaffected slaves begin backing off. Neofumi-chan. Sadhana. What? Neofumi. I'm sorry. Grit your teeth for a second. Sadhana. Neofumi. Choral magic. Tidal wave. TL, this is a pun. Dai is big in Japanese, so they mixed dai with tidal wave. This is that. What Witch was trying to do while she was testing the limits of the slave seal. The target of the attack isn't me, but the swarm of slaves surrounding me. Neofumi. Upon the chance completion, a tsunami rises and washes away everything in its path. Including me. The world spins around me, and I can't breathe. As I think about it, Sadhana steps into the wave and drags me out. It's a bit like a defensive wall of water, but the duration has been shortened and the impact has been increased to make it an offensive magic. Sadhana. Won't they die? Neofumi. No, don't worry about that. I controlled the output. Sadhana. Just as Sadhana said, the water is only covering a limited area. The village's buildings aren't damaged. The effect time was probably around 90 seconds. After which, the large wave of water disappeared as if it had never existed. The only things left were the bodies of the brainwashed slaves collapsed on the floor. Now then, everyone tie them up so they can't move. Sadhana. Why have you become the leader, is what I wanted to say, but I don't have the energy to do so. And then. Now spill everything. Neofumi. I speak to the tied-up former comrade of Itsuki. Why must I answer to evil? Wellst. You know. Do you know who you're directing your words at? Neofumi. I have quite a bit of confidence in my psychological torture skills. Phiro isn't here, but there are still plenty of Philo Reals here. Even if I were to die here, that would just be a sacrifice for the sake of justice. Wellst. Justice, is it? Neofumi. Doesn't this man have anything else on his mind? He's acting like those annoying knights of the Three Heroes Church. But I guess he's of a similar type. Rishia, what sort of person is he? Neofumi. Among the companions in service to Itsuki, he's been there the longest. Rishia. Ah, so he was there when no one wanted to be my companion. I no longer feel any mercy. Though I never really had any from the beginning. And I've heard that his family was nobility within Melromark. Rishia. Were they related to your family? Neofumi. They were in different territories. There are quite a few noble families in Melromark. Rishia. Well, that sounds about right. As long as there wasn't a large-scale event, I guess they would never meet. What's more, Rishia's a fallen noble. He must have used a few of his connections to get himself into the heroes' starting party. Just like the princess mixed in among them. Does that mean some seditious nobles are backing him? I turn my gaze to the suspicious dagger the mage held. I can't appraise it. It's quite a suspicious item. I wonder what it is. Rishia. Neofumi. What is it? Rishia. Use this to stab him. Neofumi. Fui. Rishia. Rishia reveals a surprised face as I turn her on her former comrade. However, the mage's face is even paler. He's turning blue. Stop. Don't turn that thing on me. Welst. So you can use it on others, but the reverse is forbidden? You're quite a selfish fellow. Neofumi. I should begin threatening him. This weapon is definitely related to the brainwashing. Looking at it closely, it has a strange gem embedded into it. Atlas, can you feel anything from this? Neofumi. Yes, from the weapon Neofumi-sama is holding, a sinister aura is being emitted. Atlas. I see. Neofumi. There's no doubt. If this stabs him, he will be corrupted by justice. Well, Rishia? This is a good opportunity to get back at the guy who planted false charges on you and got you kicked out. Neofumi. Fui. Rishia. Rishia wears a troubled expression and shakes as she approaches the mage one step at a time, dagger in hand. So she's really going to do it. Stop it. Don't get any closer. The hammer of justice will punish all evil. Welst. Yeah, that's right. You're evil, and I'm justice. And Rishia is the hammer that'll punish you. Neofumi. Evil should stay silent. Welst. I'm fine with evil. But you will be the one yielding to such evil. How unfortunate. Where is your justice now? Neofumi. I wonder just how deeply the belief that he is justice is embedded in his head. Even if we stab him, I'm not sure he'll even change at all. I guess I should at least dispel the brainwashing on Keel. I drink a mana potion and enclose Keel in my shield prison. Phew, Rishia. If you don't want that dagger in your ribs, then spill out your guts. Neofumi. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero Chapter 233, The Dagger of Justice. Rishia, weren't we comrades? Just defeat that devil behind you, and together, we can spread justice throughout the world. I'll put in a word to Meld. I'll convince them to let you be our comrade. So let's come to an agreement here. Welst. Who the hell is Meld? An important member of the Itsuki party. Is it Armor? I get the feeling that there were a few more, but I'm not sure they even told me their names. I mean, they were selfish beyond reason. Where is Itsuki-sama? Rishia. If you save me now, I'll tell you. So won't you offer your hand here? Welst. Silence surrounds the two figures. Eventually, with the sound of the wind being cut, the ropes tying the mage fall to the ground. Good work. Now go die in a ditch with the evil over there. Welst. The mage picks up his cane and begins chanting magic at Rishia. Godash, Welst. And then he suddenly stops moving. As I thought, it was a lie. You have deluded yourself into thinking that in the name of justice, everything you do will be forgiven, Rishia. I witnessed it. Rishia didn't just cut the ropes, but the magic user's body as well. Rishia didn't believe from the beginning. Justice. Purge the evil, Welst. I won't let you. Rishia. Rishia picked up the ropes and quickly bound the mage once more. Neofumi-san, I apologize. I was unable to draw out any useful information. Rishia. No, just bring him to the prison. We'll just torture him until he confesses everything. Nothing has been lost. Neofumi. Anyways, so this dagger is able to brainwash. And Itsuki was not needed in this plan. But then, why is everyone repeating the words of justice? Eventually, the magic user awoke in the prison, and I once again began the interrogation. What? I am, Wellst. Now then, as I said before, I'll have you spill everything. Naofumi. Wellst. This man sure is stubborn. But I have plenty of ways to make him talk. And there are plenty of things I want to experiment. Okay, now I'll have you drink this water. Naofumi. What are you trying to do? Wellst. From that reaction, it seems he's not the one who ordered the poisoning of the well. Or was he just not told? If he plainly refused, then that would clarify it. Just drink it. Naofumi. Gaha. Wellst. I order the slaves to make him drink it forcefully. Gaba, Wellst. He violently grasps at his own throat. His eyes are bloodshot. If you speak, it'll be easier for you. Naofumi. I take out an antidote and hold it at the tip of his nose. You can use poison like this as well. I don't know who set the poison, but he did me a favor. Hey, messenger of justice. If you don't confess soon, you'll die. Naofumi. Naofumi-chan, you look like you're having fun. Sadana. I'll bet it's quite a refreshing smile. I can tell from his voice. Atlas. The peanut gallery is getting loud. Though if Raphtalia was here, she would get mad at me. I won't help you until you confess. If I'm able to capture all of your comrades, the nobles should retreat. Rishia. Ugu. I'll speak. So, Wellst. So he is afraid of death. And he seems to be in a bit of pain. Then speak. Based on the contents, I may free you. If you lie, you'll be drinking more poison. Naofumi. And so, we drew out information from the mage-like person. Backing him was this country's revolutionary faction, and he confirmed that which was with them. Mald was their leader, and though he was their comrade, the mage didn't know too much about him. Then tell me. What happened during the spirit turtle incident? Naofumi. I could see the whites of the mage's eyes, so I fed him the antidote. I think you already understand, but if you stay silent, then you'll be drinking poison again. Naofumi. Wellst. The mention of poison makes the mage cough. He glares at me as if I were a piece of garbage. And then he begins speaking. Itsuki's group arrived before Ren and Motoyasu's. Half a day faster at that. And he destroyed one of the statues just like the others. But nothing happened, and the group was captured by the soldiers of the country. Armor pushed all of the blame onto Itsuki. Armor shouted at him, telling him that he was no hero of justice. With their trust broken, the group was thrown into jail. They were set to have an audience with the king, but the spirit turtle revived, and Itsuki was forced to challenge it. But without lifting a finger. His comrades came to a silent agreement. They got together behind Itsuki's back. They ran away, leaving him as a sacrifice to the turtle. Later, Armor declared that justice without power was no justice. Since Itsuki was unable to stop the spirit turtle, he was no justice. And that was the story, apparently. Most of the story was the mage's biased opinion, so I omitted it. But that's quite something. I think I've heard those words in my world as well. I see, so his comrades told him that he was no justice. They left him behind to give themselves time to escape. I guess that was enough to break him. His current state was brought about by him denying the reality he was facing. And, it seems that Raphtalia's experience on Kalmyra was no coincidence. His party had long since noticed his habit of lying and holding back. To satisfy his sense of justice, he went off to challenge the spirit turtle, and his comrades had had enough. Next is this. Naofumi. I take out the dagger. I have a pretty good idea already, but just to make sure. What is this? Naofumi. Wellst. Will you let your silence destroy you? Naofumi. I got it from the people supporting Princess Malti. Wellst. Malti? Who the hell is that? It's Witch. That name should have been forbidden. But, I guess it's natural for the revolutionary faction to call her as such. I guess I'll ignore it for now. The dagger is more important. It seems that all he knew was that anyone slashed by the dagger would awaken to the concept of justice. This is quite a peculiar item. It's not a legendary artifact, or something, right? Atlas, can you sense anything? Neofumi. Let's see. Aside from its ominous aura, there seems to be a strange power coming from the center. Atlas. Is it from the strange jewel? Its design looks a little familiar. So she really was involved in this case. But she isn't here. Is she in the castle town? It'll probably be dangerous if I don't come to their aid soon. I thought everything would be solved when I defeat Itsuki, but the situation is beyond my expectations. Which is backed by the revolutionary faction and probably the Three Heroes Church, and the poisoning of the water supply was conducted by one of these parties. Three Heroes Church. I recall the weapon the Pope held. This is just a hypothesis, but could this be the same? A replica of a weapon wielded by a hero? Or perhaps an item that merely replicates its effect? Nyakan, Keel. I had previously dispelled Keel's brainwashing with my shield prison. She unsteadily walks towards me with a hand on her shoulder. I had left her outside of the prison. It's been a while since I started the interrogation, so I guess she came to her senses. Oh, loinclothed dog. How do you feel? Neofumi. There's no way I could feel good. What the hell happened, Nyakan? Keel. You were brainwashed. You acted as if I were some sort of grand villain. Neofumi. Haha. Nyakan can't be that great of a person. You're minion class at best. Keel. What was that? Neofumi. Well, there are some things I want to say, but it seems that the brainwashing has been dispelled magnificently. Though, there's still a possibility that she's just acting. Do you remember what happened while you were brainwashed? Neofumi. Not really. But, I do remember being taken to a strange cave somewhere. Keel. Cave. Neofumi. Yeah, it seemed like everyone was gathered there. I had the feeling that someone told me to go there. I had a vague idea that a trustable person like Nyakan was there for some reason. Keel. So the main justice is inside of that cave? Wait. If the dagger was a replica, then where's the original? How was it even produced in the first place? The infectious attribute on it was exceptionally high. In Keel and the others' case, they had to take quite a few hits before they became infected. But, it seems this dagger only has to pierce you once. That means. Which is directly reporting to the Three Heroes Church and is receiving funds from the nobles. That's why their cooperation is all over the place. The sleeping drug was from the nobles, but the revolutionaries themselves didn't want to use demi-humans, so they switched it to poison. This sort of ad-libbing. Perhaps they'll try to masquerade as one of my slaves next. Anyways, I'll have to seal off this dagger's ability for now. Based on all of this justice, this replica may have been based on Itsuki. I heard that they were researching into the field of making replicas. If I assume they had some success in it, then this may have been the result. The situation is much worse than I thought. I don't think I could have expected such a situation even in my dreams. Do you know where the cave is? Neofumi. I can probably find out with some more interrogations, but Keel may know already. I think I'll be able to go there by scent. Keel. Good. Then let's go slaughter. No, I should go to the neighboring village and check the damages. Neofumi. Understood. Keel. And so, we left the tied-up, brainwashed slaves in the hands of the free slaves and set off for the neighboring village. Of course, we took the magic user with us just in case. If he tries to attack us again, he'll get what's coming to him. Rishia. Rishia seems to be lost in thought. Are you pondering over whether Itsuki is the culprit or not? Neofumi. Yes. Rishia. For now, we can assume it's only his comrades. This may be wishful thinking, but Itsuki may be innocent. Neofumi. I understand. For now, I'll just fight as Neofumi-san orders. Rishia. I wonder. Will she say the same if Itsuki steps onto the battlefield? I think that Itsuki is definitely involved in this riot in one way or another. We need to be prepared for when he chooses to show himself. But, for now, I'm worried about what became of the village I left to Ren and Fyro. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero chapter 234, Mob Mentality. As I approached the city, I could see fires blazing even from afar. The people were not evacuating. They were taking refuge in the mansion Melty was using as her residence on the outskirts of the village. The Justice zombies were attacking while shouting out negative propaganda about me and the country. These brainwashed people would usually be difficult to distinguish at a glance. However, if they took a sufficient amount of damage, and the host's consciousness faded, then the bodies would continue to walk around like typical zombies without wills. Their behavior is also a problem. The situation has devolved as such. The zombies would attempt to climb the stone walls surrounding the mansion, while the people inside would knock them down with wind magic or physical force. And within the fire, Ren and Fyro were taking the initiative, going around and knocking out the insurgents. The others would then use rope to tie them up. Are you alright? Naofumi. Ah, master. Well, you see, Fyro. Naofumi, how did your side go? Did you find Itsuki? Ren. No, Naofumi. I summarize the events of the village while I step in front to act as the shield I am. These brainwashed people should have a sense of priority instilled within them. They should be prioritizing killing me or Melty. For the sake of justice, perish. Merchant. A merchant who had been laughing and conversing with me just yesterday thrusts a dagger at me. And without a word, I activated Erst Strike Shield and Change Shield, creating a combo that inflicted paralysis. What about the people you're supposed to be protecting? Naofumi. Ah, this kid says that matter is fine. Ren. Well, you see. I somehow know. Fyro. I see, so Fyro can sense it with her feral instincts. She can sense the actions of the other Philo Reals and their support. And this is that dagger. Ren. Yeah. Naofumi. I take out the dagger and present it to Ren. Of course, in order for him to analyze it. Trying to insert it into my shield seems dangerous, so I'll have Ren make a copy of it. It's a dangerous item, but if he makes it his own, it might be fine. Try holding it for a second. Naofumi. Okay. Ren. Ren grasps the hilt of the dagger, and his sword shines for a moment. Curse series. The dagger of mob mentality. Ren. So it comes down to that. And wait, it's a curse series? There's more than the 7 deadly sins. I see, so this dagger makes one's mind a single part of a whole and prevents an individual from making decisions on their own. Wait a second. Let me check it for more details. Ren. Ren opens his status screen and reads through it. I apologize, I don't really know what this is supposed to mean. Ren. He answers as he knocks down several zombies with his sword. Does it have any strange effects? Equipment bonus. Release by brainwashing, mutual understanding, don't worry, I understand you. That's seriously suspicious. Ren probably thinks so as well. He has a complicated expression. This is release? Mutual understanding? Can you even call that understanding? Ren. Does it mean your troubles will fade away? Naofumi. So it stains you with the ideology of another. Anyone who objects to that psychology is an enemy, and if you infect them, they'll be comrades once more. This isn't a game. This is quite a disgusting dagger. Where is Eclair-san? Rishia looks around and asks Ren. Eclair. Is that female knight? She's probably being useful around now. I mean, the girl knows nothing but how to fight. Ah, she is, Ren. Ren's face darkens. And he points to the mansion. Is she defending from the mansion? Rishia. It seems that she received quite a shock upon seeing the strange actions and speech of the enemy. Ren. What? Naofumi. How can I get them to understand me? The justice I seek is nothing like this. She couldn't raise her hands against her former comrades. Ren. Ah, female knight had a strong sense of justice. If the enemy takes on the name of justice and spouts incomprehensible nonsense, I guess she would get mad. The citizens she vowed to protect were fighting her. Though they were being controlled by others, they still maintained some of their selves. It would be impossible to attack at full power. They may even pretend to be allies. This possibility could lead to suspicion and infighting. This really is an annoying ability. A world without slavery or discrimination. An equal world, she said as the amount of turned allies around her increased. It must have been tough. Ren. Well, she does have a point. In this country's eyes, it is impossible for humans and demi-humans to live side by side. If a demi-human is officially treated as an equal, then people accuse the government of giving them preferential treatment. One side says that I'm doing the brainwashing, while they spread their argument through brainwashing. There's no end to it. This village had no one who could undo the brainwashing, so there's no helping it. Equal. No discrimination? Those are some expressions that make me sick to my stomach. Even in my equal world, there's been no one who's been able to practice true equality. Superiority exists in all worlds. When someone is born, he's already being judged. Equality is a laughable concept. TL note, Yorakan does not endorse any views offered by our protagonist. The quest to make an impartial, equal world without war is merely a trigger to unleash more war. It's like when she beat up and performed minorly tortured Ren in order to teach him a lesson. Anyways, what does the word equality even mean? The meaning I know has all humans treated equally without discrimination or favorable treatment. It's unattainable and merely something to be strived for. But in a world with slavery as a set system, if such things are preached, no one will lend their ears. My world only got rid of slavery recently. If anyone actually supported such a cause, they would have ulterior motives. And the reason slavery became extinct in my world was largely due to the changing times. Slaves were no longer needed. TL, he's talking about Japan here. This world is still in need of some form of labor. To try and preach such a concept that's realistically impossible, I can only see her as a child. That's a concept that the Three Heroes Church and the revolutionary faction would simply use to their advantage. I'll put lecturing female knight off to a later date. Do you think we'll be able to manage here? Naofumi. The enemy numbers are too great. At this rate, we can tie all of them up, but it will take too long. Ren. I see, Naofumi. Even if the people I brought along also fight, it will still take a long time. Naofumi-chan. Sadana. Ah, right. Sadana was with us. Hey. Sadana. Do you have a way to take out the overflowing mass of brainwashed children and put out the fire all at once? Naofumi. Leave it to me. Everyone. Sadana. Sadana began swinging her harpoon like a conductor's baton. Perhaps because she brought along more people this time, I can feel the magic in the air condensing to greater levels than before. It's already a large-scale magic formation. Ah, this person is comparable to Fyro in useful abilities. Fyro? Fyro, mobilize the other Philo Reals to cast Coral Magic as well. Naofumi. Got it. NN, Fyro. Fyro cleared her throat and began singing. And in response to that, the other Philo Reals in the area began chirping. Naofumi-chan, go evacuate the children who aren't brainwashed. Sadana. Understood. Naofumi. By my orders, I evacuated everyone who was still sane. I won't let the situation devolve to the level it was before. Wait. Submit to the will of justice. Devil of the Shield. All the brainwashed people say the same things. Ren. Naofumi. Leave it to me. 100 Sword. Ren. The pursuing slaves are blocked by countless strikes from Ren's area of effect skill. Heroes with offensive capabilities sure are useful. Tidal Wave. Sweet Song. Upon Sadana's magic, a large wave washes away the justice zombies in front of the mansion, and upon hearing Fyro's song, other zombies turn white-eyed and fall down on the spot. It's probably a magic with a sleep effect. It seems that Fyro's singing ability has reached magical levels. I guess that we succeeded in the suppression for now. Naofumi. No, not yet. Ren. Ren points deeper into the city. And from that direction, brainwashed zombies continue to pour in, one after the other. Where the hell did these people come from anyways? They must have grown in number from the inhabitants of this village. The person leading all of them probably isn't here. Neofumi. In a situation like this, the person leading the charge, like the magic user in my village, probably retreated already. No, there's one suspicious place. Ren. Ren signals towards the village plaza. For some reason, I see a Galian-like object breathing fire all over the place. On its back is someone who looks like Tanako. Neofumi, there was a church built behind there, right? Ren. Yeah. Neofumi. The brainwashed armies built up their defenses there. We can almost break through. Won't you come with us? Ren. I see. Neofumi. Itsuki may be there. Maybe. We're going over to the church. You guys should continue to bind the defeated enemies. Find a way to contain them all. Neofumi. Understood, Neofumi-chan. Sadana. Yeah, it's best to leave the defenses to her. It would be bad if we thinned our forces enough for them to break through. And the constant battle has fatigued both sides. Just raising one's level doesn't change sustained injury, fatigue, or hunger. Then Fyro and the Philo Reals will go over to where Galian is fighting. Neofumi. I have to go to Galian. Fyro. Fyro states her opinion. It seems the other Philo Reals agree. Just shut up and go. Neofumi. Oka why, Fyro? Is Melty alright? Neofumi. Yeah. Melty-chan is strong, so she's fine. Fyro. I see. Well, she was strong enough to blow away my house. Neofumi. A militaristic princess. It's a common theme in literature, but it makes me see just how much Melty has changed. Even though I'm the cause. But that doesn't matter for now. I just need to find a way into the church. I get on Fyro's back and gallantly rush onto the battlefield. Ren is with us. On the way, we encounter attacks from brainwashed people, but they are no match for Fyro's speed. My place's Philo Reals sure are high class. Though, besides Fyro's first disciple, Motoyasu erased them all. Is he going to become the Philo Real master? What would I do if he actually becomes one? Read The Rising of the Shield Hero chapter 235, Remnants. Kyua. Galian. Aboard Fyro, we assault the heavily fortified church. People fly left and right in the face of Fyro's charge. They're fine, right? I don't think they'll die from something like this. I somehow feel invincible right now. And we reach the area where Galian was fighting. Fyro and Galian lock eyes and begin intimidating one another. They'll still fight in a situation like this? They stare at each other, fighting with their gazes for a while. Suddenly, Galian lets out a laugh. Mew dash. Fyro. This isn't the time for that. By the way, what is supposed to be here? Neofumi. I pose the question to Rishia and Atlas, who are riding the same Philo Real. A sinister aura is intertwined with the flow of energy here. I'm not exactly sure. Atlas. Famu. Neofumi. It would be nice if we finally found Itsuki, but that's just wishful thinking. We step over the church's threshold. Inside are several people I have never seen before, busy at work tampering with the arrangement of the building. They are mainly scratching out the shield mark on the Four Saint symbol and destroying any shield-related objects of worship. TL, the Four Saint symbol is the border of my header. Good job coming all the way here. A slightly familiar face steps forward and boldly greets me. Who is this again? There are too many people who I've seen before but can never remember. It's quite troubling. All of these people are wearing work clothes. They're probably not the people who are supposed to be managing the church. I have way too many enemies to remember them all. To the devil of the shield, let me inflict God's judgment. Ah, so it's like that. Neofumi. So the people who infiltrated the temple and began to desecrate it were the remnants of the three-hero church. I think I saw some of these people when I tried to buy holy water and they tried to sell me low-quality ones. And, I remember the person in front of me. It's the sister who drove us away from the dragon hourglass. So this is where the rebels went. Neofumi. No matter what the devil says, the religion of Melromark is the three-hero church. We will follow the late Pope's wishes and govern the world. Sister. Govern the world. It's a psychology that runs rampant in cults. A united world would just be unnerving. And you've fallen into our trap, devil of the shield. Sister. A large magic circle lights up on the floor beneath my feet. And at that moment, my body suddenly feels several times heavier. Ku. Ren, Rishia, and the rest groan. Kai-Uaa. Galeon. Galeon covers Tanako with his wings as if to protect her. He readies himself to attack. What did you do? Neofumi. It would be troublesome if you moved, so we set up some magic to restrain you. Sister. So this magic circle can prevent movement. It's heavy. Pyro. Pyro slowly lifts her feet and begins walking towards the three-hero church remnants. I guess they're witnessing the overwhelming difference in power. Pyro received my stat corrections from birth, so I guess a normal level of restraint won't hold her. Raise the output. Sister. The magic circle begins to glow brighter, and Ren slams onto the ground. Where are they supplying the power from? I can't tell. Neofumi-sama, what should we do? Atlas. I wonder why Atlas is still fine. She's standing next to Pyro as if nothing happened to her. I'm also able to handle it to some extent with my stats. If I think about it, isn't my situation still really advantageous right now? As I thought that, brainwashed slaves begin pouring into the church. It seems things just won't go my way today. Those who have awoken to our faith. Even if they be stupid, vulgar demi-humans, if they are willing to lay down their lives for us, then perhaps God will forgive them in heaven. Now, fight to repent for your existence. Sister. That was a really dubious speech. I really want to retort something now. Why am I only ever surrounded by idiots? Why are they sending them to fight with the assumption that they'll die? Maybe it's because they're people of the devil's village. And what does she mean by perhaps? She really left it open-ended. But, this is kinda bad. Rishia might be able to move, but Ren and the Philo Reals are immobile. I think Galeon and Tanako are fine as well. Besides Ren, it seems that everyone above class up level is alright. Kua. Galeon. Galeon lashes his tail out at the approaching slaves' faces, but the magic circle makes his movement too slow. Ah. It seems that this magic is only affecting us. What should I do? With Pyro's help, these guys won't be a problem. But if we leave Ren and the others behind, they'll be in danger. I'll have to fight anyways, but I get the feeling there's a better strategy here. And then, I suddenly remember something. I put my hand on the shield and change its form. The shield I select is the Spirit Turtle Carapace shield. I've strengthened it to some extent. It's not as strong as the Soul Eater shield, but its defense is considerable. And its equipment bonus is Gravity Field. Oh? My body is lighter. Pyro. Yeah, a little bit. Ren. Everyone affected by the magic begins to rise up. Right, the Gravity Field ability allows me to manipulate gravitational force to some extent. This restraint magic simply made one's body heavier. If they used something like magical rope to bind us, then we would be in trouble. Imagining the feeling of becoming lighter, I deployed a field. Of course, it's an ability I've tested before by myself. Its weakness is that once one becomes lighter, they are unable to put the same amount of force into their attacks. Contrarily, by increasing gravity, it becomes harder to move, but you can put more force into your attacks. Another disadvantage is that it can't differentiate between friend and foe. An interesting use is that if an enemy is sent flying, it can increase their impact, and if you are sent flying, it can decrease yours. There's no question why this was such a difficult material for the old man to make a weapon out of. This should let you move a little. Please endure it until we can dispel this trap. Neofumi. Ah, like this, I can fight. Ren. I'll also try hard. Atlas. Yes. Rishia. Rishia and Atlas nod. Let's go. Rishia. Rishia throws her knife, and it rapidly blocks the escape of the sister who deployed the trap. As I thought. She's moving well under these conditions. Atlas follows her lead and thrusts at the brainwashed slaves. Ugadash, slave. The slaves that take on Atlas's strike cry out. I'll have you sleep for a bit. Atlas. I apologize. Meteor sword. Ren apologizes as he uses meteor sword to send shockwaves at the slaves and remnants. What are you doing? Increase the radius and output further. Sister. As the enemy formation is thrown into disarray, some of us are able to step out of the circle. I sit on Pharaoh's back as I direct the battle. Well, the difference in power is quite evident. They're all pretty much small fries. The representative, annoying sister continues to scream out orders. Rain down your spells on the demon. Sister. Finally. I've been waiting for this. I bring out the spirit turtle heart shield. Equipment bonus, C magic snatch, C gravity shot, tenacity enhancement. C is short for counter. I need to be attacked to use them. I'll finally be able to test out magic snatch and gravity shot. The three-hero church faces me and begins to cast coral magic. Coral magic. Lightning judgment. An electrified mass of magical energy in the shape of a cross flies towards me and Pharaoh. I lift up my shield and take it head on. Neofumi. Ren. Neofumi-sama. Atlas. Neofumi-san. Rishia. I feel some static coursing around my body, but I don't feel any pain. Yayayayayaw. Pharaoh's feathers are standing on end, master. Pharaoh. The static electricity seems to have made Pharaoh ecstatic. Ignoring her, I look at the enemy. TL. Are those crickets I hear? I even needed to protect the brainwashed slaves from the large-scale magic assault. Aren't they supposed to be allies now? These guys are scum as always. There's no problems. Neofumi. As expected of Neofumi-sama. Atlas. Amazing, Tanako. Yes. Rishia. Kyua. Galeon. Tanako and Galeon also chime in as they prepare their magic. Both of them specialize in the same magic system, so they can do joint spells. I order of thee to guide Galeon's power and to request for it to materialize. Earth Pulse, give me power. Tanako. Kyua. Galeon. High Fire Blaze. Tanako. As Tanako finishes the chant, a large ball of fire appears from Galeon's mouth and flies towards the remnants of the three-hero church. Oh, it's got quite a bit of power to it. It also gives off a joint attack-like vibe, which is cool. Not that I really care or anything. Anyways, while Galeon and Tanako were busy showing off, I had just been hit with coral magic. My shield shines blue, and the counter effect begins to activate. And from the shield, several blue and white balls fly back out at the casters. Wadash. It must have been an unexpected attack. Quite a few people are unable to avoid it. Well, the balls are quite fast. Besides people who have classed up and people that are hiding special powers, most will find them difficult to dodge. What? Nothing's happening, isn't it? Devil of the shield, don't surprise us like that. Sister. The surprise comes later. Neofumi. I give a wide smile. These people have no idea just what sort of attack they just took. Goo. My body is. Sister. All of a sudden, she puts her hand on the floor. She desperately struggles to lift herself, but it's not working. Oh? The restraint circle is fading. I guess the casters lost their concentration. And the blue and white lights leave their targets and return to me. I check my status and find that my mana has recovered. Right, Magic Snatch and Gravity Shot fulfilled their duties. These two will be a useful counters against mages. Magic Snatch, as its name suggests, steals magic from its target. Gravity Shot immobilizes them with gravity magic while Magic Snatch does its work. But, as expected, it doesn't do any damage. Attack. Neofumi. On my orders, my comrades nod. Okay. Atlas. Leave it to me. Ren. Kyua. Galeon. The three hero church remnants use the brainwashed people as shields to retreat further into the church, and we eventually lose sight of them. Of course, we tried to pursue, but there were too many enemies. Damn. Running is all they're good at. Neofumi. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero chapter 236, The Demon Lord of the Shield. The shouts of justice from the brainwashed slaves fill the air, and I can no longer hear anything else. I am getting the urge to burn them all with my wrath, but I can't really be inflicting damage on these people. I'll have to pay them compensation when all of this is resolved, and if they ask for medical fees. Should I just play dumb? Pyro. Neofumi. What? Pyro. Throw them off. With enough force to kill. Neofumi. They're people Pyro knows, so no. Pyro. Ku. She's fine with leaving them on the brink of death, but she won't kill. It may be because she spends much more time in this town than me. Her memory isn't to be underestimated, so she can probably recognize the villagers. But this swarm is making it hard to proceed. Neofumi sometimes makes some dark jokes, doesn't he? Ren. Everyone usually understands when he does. Rishia. Right, we all know of Neofumi-sama's kindness. Atlas. Kyua. Galeon. No idea what you're talking about. I just want to end this and go home. Tanako. The one who wanted to return was Tanako. She seemed to be fed up. I don't know what sort of misunderstanding everyone was making, but I was pretty serious there. But correcting them would be a pain. Fighting is also getting to be a pain, so I gather my comrades into a single area and deploy a magically strengthened meteor shield. It seems that if I charge it with magic, I can increase its range. I expand it to a radius of 5 meters. With the barrier deployed, we drive all the enemies out of it. Ren and Co protect the barrier while we walk forward. But this is also a pain. The slaves keep on breaching my defenses. When that happens, the infiltrator gets knocked out and tied up. It's a common setting in zombie franchises, but having to deal with it in a fantasy setting is annoying. If the culprit was a vampire or something, then I might look forward to fighting them, but this setting isn't fun at all. And we reach and open a large door in the depths of the church. Inside is. The room looks quite important. It has multiple platforms of raising elevation. In the center is a ceremonial altar, or perhaps I should call it a ritual altar. I think that I remember being told that that point had geographic significance or something. It seems we've fallen into a trap once more. The remaining remnants of the church and Itsuki's former companion, Armor, are sitting on a high place, looking down on us. So you finally arrived, Devil of the Shield. I was getting tired of waiting. Armor. Does the fact that you're here mean that Witch is here too? Neofumi. Are you referring to our comrade, Princess Malti? Unfortunately, she is not present. Armor. Damn. By the way, am I right in assuming that you're the primary culprit in inciting this ruckus? Neofumi. Ruckus? You call our crusade in the name of justice a simple ruckus. Armor. Crusade? You sure love to joke, you terrorist. Neofumi. I laugh as I provoke him. Armor's face dyes red as he visibly gets increasingly angry. It's because this guy has a needless amount of pride. It'll be easier to make him self-destruct with words. What was that? Armor. Could it be that you're a believer of the three-hero church sect? That heretical one. Neofumi. No, the three-hero church sympathizes with our justice. They are merely our kindred souls. Armor. Is that so? Neofumi. As always, he's carrying a self-centered sense of justice. This Armor always had a stuck-up attitude. Perhaps that came from his status as a noble. Even so, he answered quite naturally. I guess using his compatriots to provoke him won't work. And, did I even do anything to make you mad at me? Neofumi. Though the three-hero church has its own reasons, I don't remember offending Armor or the rest of the Itsuki party to that extent. I'm sure that they do dislike me, but only to the extent where cooperation would be impossible. I didn't even interact with them much. We were only in the same party for an hour or two on Kalmyra. Don't play dumb. You use your power of brainwashing to obstruct our justice. Armor. The hell? You've lost me, mate. Let's put aside the fact that they're the ones brainwashing for now. What exactly is his justice supposed to be doing? Let me ask for argument's sake. What is your justice? Neofumi. He probably won't say anything good. Our justice is one where evil does not exist. It is to make a peaceful world based on our glorious ideals. And as such, we must judge all evil with our power. Armor. Totally self-righteous. The thing that shocks me the most is that people with such a dictatorial mindset actually exist in this world. Isn't there something they find strange about calling themselves justice in the first place? I guess the result of Itsuki's loss is starting to take root in them. And? What exactly did I do to get in your way? Neofumi. You. No, the fake heroes caused our party's prestige to drop, and caused us to be pursued by the country. You all destroyed our status. Atone for your sins. Armor. So because of Itsuki's loss, their prestige from being of a hero's party fell, and they were unable to reform the world and convince others to follow them as they pleased. And all fault lied with the four heroes? What's more, the fact that my peddling within Melromark helped raise the morale of the populace and was looked on as an act of good simply pissed them off further. Oh, I think I've received requests from villages to send peddling carts over. Because I made sure to regulate the pricing, I didn't really pay attention to the orders themselves. Because of my work, they were unable to gain ground, so they came to resent me. Please just get over it. These people with broken thought processes are gathering against me. I'm getting the urge to punch them into silence. And that will take a while with my attack. Devil of the Shield. No, Demon Lord of the Shield. We, the new heroes, will defeat you. Armor. With a flash, he takes a familiar sword out of his scabbard and takes the shield off of his back. He gets into a battle position. So I've finally surpassed the stage of devil, and evolved into the Demon Lord. For a hero's enemy, a Demon Lord is standard fare, but no matter how I look at it, this situation is a bit off. And why does he get to be the new hero? Just proclaiming it yourself doesn't make it so. If I lose here, will all the fault of this incident fall to me? Now that I think about it, there's no need for them to use my slaves in their rebellion. They could simply have them rampage and then kill them in the name of justice to earn fame. Something similar will probably happen here as well. They'll kill all the demi-humans and sweet-talk the humans into silence and eventually abandon them. Just how self-righteous of an organization are you making here? Evil, is it? Neofumi, what should we do? Ren. Justice and evil are idiotic concepts. The reason we were summoned was to prevent as many casualties as possible from the wave. We can't really choose the means. Neofumi. That sounds like something you would say. No, now I think you're actually in the right. Next is... the person who was with which was that person? Ren. Ren holds out his sword and glares at Armor. So I was right. Why couldn't he remember until now anyways? Well, the Ren back them thought solo play was cool, so he didn't put anyone besides his own comrades to memory. Not that I should be talking, but I bet he never looked at their faces more than once. Someone who would do things like this, even if they were deluded, even if they were seen as heroes, will never be justice. Ren. Yes, I think so as well. Rishia. Rishia seems motivated. For her to give such a definite response with her former comrade, Armor, as the enemy. Rishia sure has changed. She would have trembled before him if it was the Rishia I first picked up. What course of action should we take, Neofumi-sama? Atlas. Kyua. Galeon. Should we just take them out? Tanako. Atlas, Galeon, and Tanako are also quite motivated. Mew. Is the one standing there Rishia? As I thought, you were a filthy traitor. Armor. What do you mean traitor? You were the ones who drove her out. Neofumi. I can't accept anyone who would lead things such as this. Rishia. Rishia boldly declares at Armor. Did she just nonchalantly ignore me? Don't just treat me as a background character. I'll smack you. There's no way this is justice. Rishia. Ah, and the thing that caught my attention, armor's sword and shield. I remember the sword quite clearly. It's the one I saw at the Zeltberg auction, the spirit turtle sword. It was an item so expensive, I would never dream of holding it. Why does armor have it? He probably used the influence of the nobles backing him. Or perhaps it was stolen. Steal. Now that I think about it, there are plenty of heroes who break into houses and look through the drawers and chests. This is magnificent. He's definitely a hero. But that doesn't really matter. It's not like that sword is mine. But that shield that looks like the counterpart of the sword. Could that be? Oi. Is that shield stolen goods? Neofumi. Surely you jest. I merely purified a wicked item manufactured by the Demon King. Armor. Oi, that's the shield the old man and Imaya's uncle worked hard to make. The shield made just for me. I won't forgive this. It's time for judgment. What do you mean purify, you thieves? That shield is mine. Neofumi. If it's used carelessly and gets scratched, its value will drop. That armor is my prey. You guys go deal with the rest. There's no need to keep them alive, so fight with all your strength, but don't kill the brainwashed ones. Neofumi. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero Chapter 237, Spirit Turtle Shell. I'm reaching my limit here. I don't plan on letting these people live. My stress has reached its peak. Understood. But they're Itsuki's former comrades, right? Will you be alright, Ren? They're no one's comrades right now. They're the scum of this country, no, of this world. We need to deal with them as soon as possible. There's no merit in leaving the three-hero church alive either. Neofumi. Understood. Ren. With Ren's reply, the other members run forward. I get off Fyro and begin walking towards armor. I left Fyro to deal with the others. If I let anyone else fight this one, then the shield I've been waiting so long for would get damaged. Die. Armor. Sure of his victory, Armor swings down the spirit turtle sword at me with all his might. It seems that the remnants of the three-hero church are continuously casting support magic on him as well. They don't have any time to discuss the matter. They're unorganized till the end. However, I use one hand to catch the blade just before it reaches me. Sparks fly everywhere as the metal collides. Gunu? He stopped it unarmed? What is this farce? Armor. Armor's expression is colored with surprise. I apply pressure to my hand as Armor puts all of his weight into withdrawing the blade. Did he think that someone who never received any growth corrections would be able to defeat a fully strengthened hero? I've never seen his stats, but the only thing I can compare him to is the Rishia of the past. The support magic doesn't seem to be helping much. Neo. Unhand me, Demon King. Don't grace me with your foul presence, you fiend. Armor. TL, this is more of a literal translation. If you didn't get it, he's saying he doesn't want to be near him. Even though he was the one who rushed at me. Since when were counterattacks off limits? Are you a child? Should I feed you a poison mushroom? I don't think that I'm bullying him, but I'm getting a strange feeling. How absurd. The hero of the sword is only at that level. I guess the true demon lord can't be dealt with such half-hearted measures. Armor. Shut up. Neofumi. I use the principle of leverage to steal his sword. Without taking any damage, I managed to take my opponent's weapon. I think I've seen this scene in a game before. I didn't think I would be able to do such a thing in real life, but it was surprisingly easy. Though, it's probably due to the defense I'm getting from the shield. This sword was quite valuable, right? I bet I could sell it for quite a bit. Though I could also let Rafe Talia or the other slaves use it. But first, I better let Ren copy it. Ren. Neofumi. Before the system rejects it, I throw the sword at Ren. And Ren catches it by reflex. Wow. This is quite a sword. Ren. I'm not sure if the weapon copy is working, but it looks like he's reading its stats. As a result, the sword suddenly became worn out beyond recognition. Ah. The sword I was going to put to good use. Neofumi, TL, literally recycle. Sorry. Ren. I had completely forgotten about his curse. Damn it. I have to move on. It's not like losing it hurt me. It wasn't mine to begin with. Wah. The holy sword rusted. You monsters. Armor. Yes, it is quite a spectacle when you're seeing it for the first time. Just as surprising as when I first witnessed the brainwashing dagger. No, for now, I have to think of how to get the shield away from him. The shield the old man made is special. I can't let Ren touch it. Ren, no matter what, you can't touch the shield he's holding. Naofumi. G got it. So please don't glare at me with such bloodlust. Ren. Ren changes his sword to the spirit turtle sword. Now then, I'll have you return that shield. Naofumi. As I step forwards, it seems evident that Armor lost all of the momentum he had before. He draws back, as if to retreat. Did he lose his confidence from having his prided weapon destroyed? You seem to be the ringleader here. I'll have you spill everything. It may be a bit messy, but I'll have you pay the tab for picking a fight with me as well. Naofumi. Without a moment's delay, I grab Armor's collar and drag him towards me. Armor immediately puts the shield in front to protect himself, but it's too late. This guy's been pissing me off for a while. I'll take the opportunity to inflict a bit of torture. His justice is a nuisance. There's no choice. Meld, I won't forget your sacrifice. 3 Hero Church member. What? Are you betraying me? Armor. One of the 3 Hero Church followers takes out a bomb-like item and throws it towards us. There. Rishia. Rishia throws her dagger at the projectile, causing it to explode in midair. And the explosion encompassed the thrower as well. Yayayayayay. 3 Hero Church. Did he plan to take everyone out, enemy and ally? There should be a limit to idiocy. TL, and then came the internet. As soon as he was at a disadvantage, he cut off all his comrades. As expected of the people which sided with. Now then, how do I take this shield? Atlas. Naofumi. Yes, coming. Atlas. What about Fyro? Fyro. You're overkill. Go play with the slaves. Naofumi. Got it. Fyro. Can you render them unconscious? Naofumi. I'll try. Fyro. Now then, as per my order, Atlas comes running over. I push Armor in her direction and issue orders. Keep pricking his vital points until he can't feel anything anymore. TL, the phrase used here is, which means, and still more. This pretty much means do it so that onlookers will say, you're still going to hit him after that 10,000 hit combo. Yes, as Naofumi-sama commands. Atlas. Guru. Dodge. Stow, Armor. Atlas circles the man while thrusting at him. He desperately lifts the shield to defend, but Atlas is too fast. Every time she hits, his facial expression changes. It's quite interesting. And after a while, he drops the shield, and I lift it up. As soon as I touch it, a light goes off, and weapon copy begins to activate. You have activated weapon copy. You have unlocked the conditions to use Spirit Turtle Armor. Spirit Turtle Shell 0/70C, TL, yes, it says shell, not shield. Ability bonus. Equipment bonus. Skill. S-Float Shield Reflect Shield. Special bonus. Gravity Field, C Soul Recovery, C Magic Snatch, C Gravity Shot, Tenacity Enhancement, Magic Defense, Large, Lightning Resistance, SP Drain Block, Growing Power. Weapon Proficiency 0. Amazing. It has all of the best bonuses from the other Spirit Turtle shields. Excluding Wrath, its base stats are the highest of any shield in my possession. I wonder what sort of effect Growing Power has. Can this shield evolve like Wrath? S-Float Shield is probably an extension of E-Float Shield in a semi-passive skill. It'll probably let me extend beyond Second Shield. What could Reflect Shield do? From its name, I expect it to reflect received damage to some extent, but I guess that makes it useless against small fries. I'll have fun unlocking more powers by awakening it. But, I don't think it can get much better than this. This is the best part. I probably already have many of the needed materials in order to strengthen this shield. It's made of the same materials as the other spirit turtle shields I have, so I'll assume that's the case. It's unfortunate that I don't have the free time to strengthen it right away. Let's go. Atlas. Pi. Philo Real. Matching Atlas's timing, a Philo Real chick joins and kicks Armor. Guayay. Armor. Armor twirls in the air as he flies several meters. You reap what you sow. Remember kids, stealing is bad. This man's thought process sure is strange. Could it be that? He thought he could win against a stronger opponent through resourcefulness and skills. Their group is unorganized through and through. If he won, he would claim that it was because I was foolish. And saying those lines would make his side seem like the righteous one. Throughout history, most tacticians can be seen as cowards if you change your perspective. I don't mean to criticize, I'm a fan of manga and light novels, so I get it. From the enemy's side, I'm most definitely a heinous villain. Now then, have you finally understood the difference in power, self-proclaimed new hero? Neofumi. Gu, Armor. Looking around, it seems that all but the brainwashed slaves have been pretty much taken care of. Seeing the annoying three-hero church that put me through such agony in such a state puts my heart at ease. Take them all in. Everyone who resists gets a death sentence. Neofumi. You sound just like a villain, Neofumi, Ren. Ren retorts. How annoying. I won't say I'm not one. I glare at Ren, and he shifts his gaze back to the enemy. Running also warrants death. Ren. Says Ren in a Yakuza-esque voice, pointing his newly copied weapon at the three-hero church remnants and threatening them. Gee God. Please deliver us from the demon lord's curse, sister. A sister of the church pleads. Aren't the people before you supposed to be fake heroes who go against God? Begging for one's life now is unsightly. I don't think I'm wrong, and I don't believe you're right. Even without the brainwashing. Ren. That's just because you've been brainwashed. Sister. This isn't getting anywhere. You people only believe whatever's convenient at the time. Because I've been wrong many times, I'll say this. You people are wrong. If you want to make amends, now is the time. I'll plead for everyone here to keep their heads. Surrender. Ren. How soft. I doubt these people have any hope of rehabilitation. Looking at it from Ren's perspective, he made many mistakes, and Female Knight was the one who preached to him and woke him up. He probably wants to do the same for another, but he's picking the wrong group. Just as I thought. Ren's words fall on deaf ears, and the sister pulls a dagger from the inside of her robe. Submit to our justice, you fake sister. She stabbed at him. But that was a meaningless action. Phiro is already behind her. Hup. Phiro. Gya. Sister. Phiro lightly drops her heel on the sister's head, and the sister falls onto the floor. Is she dead? I hope so. The other remnants are pretty much the same. Besides the brainwashed slaves, they pose no threat whatsoever. Galeon starts making a game of lightly tossing them at one another. There is no need to hold back against the ones who acted of their own volition. More and more zombies are pouring in, making escape impossible. Annihilating all of the forces here should be enough to set back their plans. Damn, Armor. Armor slowly rises to his feet. He's surprisingly tough. I guess it's about time to finish this. There's no need to keep you alive. Shall I make you regret bearing your fangs at me? Neofumi. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero Chapter 238, Chasing Too Far. Ren and Motoyasu are heroes, so I can't kill them, and there are some things I need to make Witch do, so I'd like to leave her, barely, alive if possible. But these guys are different. In fact, in order to prevent them from harming more people, it's best to make them leave the stage early. For the sake of the world. And, did you seriously think you could beat me with such low power? Neofumi. A possibility is that Armor challenged Ren when he was a bandit and thought he could beat me if that was my power level. But, the Ren of that time had not yet learned strengthening methods. To face me, he kept himself in perfect condition and got his hands on the strongest equipment he could find. He used brainwashing to amass an army to wear me down so he could strike the finishing blow. But those assaults had pretty much no effect on me. He seriously underestimated his enemy. I should use this as reference. TL, learn from his mistakes. Though, I have no idea if an enemy with that large of a gap in strength will ever appear before me. I have no idea how strong Hao is supposed to be. I should do what I can for now. My current mission is to take care of this ridiculous farce. You're cowardly otherworlder who does nothing but rely on the strength of your legendary weapon. This world will be saved by its own people. Armor. Cowardly. You're in no position to tell me that. Naofumi. You people arbitrarily summoned me. I don't need your complaints. What is this person even trying to say? It doesn't seem that words are getting through. Though I get the feeling they weren't getting through from the start. This world's people will save themselves? That's quite a noble thought, but it was those very same people who decided to rely on the heroes and perform a summoning ritual. Your argument lacks persuasive power. Naofumi. And just because you happened to summon someone you didn't like, why must you abandon him? I should direct those words at trash. The Queen supported me to the best of her ability, but it seems the country has lost some economic power. When I see her tackling a mountain of paperwork, I find it hard to ask for funding. I acknowledge that I may be a devil, but at least I have a conscience. I'm surprised she hasn't ruined her body from stress yet. No, perhaps she has. I've seen her swallowing medicine before. She's also been patting her stomach. She's definitely acquired stress ulcers. Now that I think about it, how's the castle town doing? I think Motoyasu and his fellow Reals will be able to suppress any uprisings. I also sent a messenger to Raphtalia's group when this mess started, so I wonder what happened to them. It's been around half a day since this mess started. If Raphthalia immediately came running back, I would suspect her of being brainwashed. Anyways, it's best for your sake if you honestly tell the whole story. Naofumi. From the magic user's testimony, this guy's the ringleader. Perhaps I can wring Witch's location out of him. If you don't, my subordinates will torture you until you wish you were dead. Naofumi. Naofumi-sama, leave it to me. Atlas. Atlas happily starts shadowboxing. She punches the air in front of her. What's with her movements? Yeah, Fyro wants to do it too. Fyro. Fyro begins imitating her. Is that the new fad? Not on my watch. When I turn around, I find that the others of my group have driven the brainwashed people outside and are in the process of setting up a barricade. And just like I'm doing, Tanako borrowed a dagger from Ren, and began threatening the 3 hero church remnants. Ren cautions her that she shouldn't be doing such things, but she shouts at him to shut up. Galeon has a delicate expression on his face. I wonder who the girl takes after. Rishia has just finished binding all of the remnants. In the confusion created from throwing the bomb, they had scattered all over the place inside of the spacious church. Rishia's quite skilled. She even ran on the walls, though I don't know the logistics behind it. Could she be concentrating magic on her feet to temporarily bind them or something? Perhaps she'll be able to run on water as well. Hey, I told you people to kill them. Hey, just talk. You'll lengthen your lifespan by a bit. Naofumi. As I declare this, Armor retreats a few steps and catches his breath. Has he finally gotten a grasp of the situation he's in? His face is blue. He assured himself that he would win and that his enemies were all evil, and now it's come to this. Caught up in Itsuki's justice, he began to believe that he was justice itself. I'm waiting. Naofumi. Ku. If I have to talk to you, then I'd rather dash, Armor. Just as he was speaking, the roof of the church caves in, and 3 brainwashed Philo Reals rain down from the sky. Wadash, Armor. Ki. Philo Real. You're in the way. Fyro. Please, move. Atlas. 2 of them grapple with Fyro and Atlas while the last one forcefully throws Armor on its back and starts running. Like I'd let that happen. Naofumi. Just as I'm about to deploy Shield Prison, I remember something. Where are they running to? I thought I would leave Itsuki up to Kiel, but if I follow them there, I may find Witch and her compatriots. I can capture them all at once. And it seems that Armor would rather commit suicide than be captured. There's no point in capturing a dead man. So I should use him as much as I can while he lives. Move. Fyro. Fyro kicks away the Philo Real blocking her and begins to give chase. With her speed, catching up will be easy, but the destination is the important part. The situation is this dire. It's probably not a trap. If we just manage to find the enemy stronghold, then no matter the situation, we'll be able to apprehend them sooner or later. Of course, if they run towards Castle Town, I have no intention of letting them get far because I'll probably find Witch and Itsuki there. Wait, let's chase them too far. Naofumi. TL, I can't think of an English alternative. Pretty much, the term means to pursue a goal too far, and is usually used with a negative connotation, but Naofumi means to chase them to the end. What's with that line? It's something I said myself, but I have no idea what it means. Aren't you usually supposed to say, don't chase them too far? Well, I do plan on pursuing them until the end. What's wrong, Master? You don't want to capture them. Fyro. If they're going to run, then we'll just use that. Haha. It's hunting time. Naofumi. As expected of Naofumi-sama. You let one escape to capture them all, right? Atlas. You can see through everything, can't you? Naofumi. Atlas's comprehension ability is scary. Could this be an instinct of the militaristic Hakuko tribe? She can cut off her anxiety and calmly view the situation. For now, I should get the Philo Reals on our side. They're Motoyasus, so their stats aren't bad. I lock the one Fyro kicked away in my prison. Good. Now, you guys will be bringing the 3 hero church remnants to Melty's estate. I'm leaving Galion's group in charge. Naofumi. Understood. As if they were expecting the order, Rishia and Tanako were already holding a net which they used to hold the 3 hero church remnants together after gathering them in one place. The situation reminds me of a large haul of fish on a fishing boat. All of the remnants are directing foul language at my group. It's truly a stupid sight. I'll apply some torture later. If I don't let them suffer a bit, I won't be able to calm down. For this to be a possible stress reliever, I've changed as well. In a bad way. Though, I have no intentions of correcting myself. Galion, you catch up with us later. And Tanako, I'll leave the command of the people at the mansion to you. Naofumi. Tanako? Do you mean me? Tanako. I told you before, right? Why are you so surprised? Naofumi. No, I knew. But hearing it directly is, Tanako. I'll pursue the cause of this ruckus. You guys should focus on suppressing the violence in this village. Tell Kiel, who's supposed to be good at tracking, to follow me. Naofumi. Understood. Tanako. And after you deliver that message, send Galion over. Decide whether you'll come or not based on the situation. Naofumi. Tanako nods at all of my orders. Then everyone else is following that armor with me. Get on a Philo Real. Naofumi. Understood. Rishiwa. Let's go. Naofumi. Yeah, why? Fyro. With Fyro at the head, Rishia, Atlas, and Ren all board Philo Reals and follow to chase armor. Are you sure they went this way? Naofumi. Yeah, I thought that if we were too close, they'd notice, so Fyro is keeping some distance. Fyro. Without any lights, we rely on Fyro's instinct to give chase. It's already been 2 hours. All of the Philo Reals from my place are quite fast. Without a cart, their normal running gait is around the max speed of a wild Philo Real. And such an amazing Philo Real is running at full speed with armor. They're already outside of my territory and on the mountain roads. I wonder where they're running to. But, I'm not about to waste time. Atop Fyro's back, I begin reinforcing the spirit turtle shell. It will take a while before it awakens, but I've already managed to raise its abilities beyond Soul Eater Shield. What's more, it has a growing power ability, so I can't wait to see what happens next. As expected of the shield the old man made. Ah, right. About the non-copy one, I had it carefully packaged and sent to the mansion with Tanako. It may get taken again, but taking it with me here would provide the highest chance of it getting scratched. I won't let anyone touch it. I don't think it will be able to get any more skills, but it's still an amazing shield. By the way, I tested out Reflect Shield to find out its ability. When I shouted out the skill name, a list of the shields I had with offensive power popped up. There are a few I can't choose, but it seems this ability can temporarily give my shield some offensive features. It will be useful for attacking when using shields with high defense. E-float shield rightward arrow change shield rightward arrow reflect shield is also a possible combination. Then, the manifested shield can have greater durability. My possibilities have increased. Master, it seems they've entered a building. Fyro. There's a building out here. I see a mountain fortress with some traces of light leaking out of it. We've finally discovered their base. I'll make this a splendid massacre. Is that their stronghold? Ren. Seems like it. Naofumi. I nod at Ren's question. Though it could just be a resting spot, it's a fortress built in the middle of the mountains. There's a high probability that it's an important point. They're probably recycling a fortress abandoned by the country. It would be nice if Witch were somewhere here, but... Itsuki-sama, Rishia. He may be there. Either way, we'll have to apprehend them. But, Armor sure is a fool. Did he think he had outrun us? That Philo Real used to be mine, you know. But I guess he had no choice but to run. It was all a trap. Now Die Demon Lord is also a possibility. But I have confidence I'll win. He's a small fry. I don't know his level, but he wasn't even able to scratch me when his blade was in direct contact with my skin. At this rate, whether it be the three-hero church, the nobles, Witch, the rebels, or Armor, I don't think any of them can hurt me. It would be strange for them to have someone with such capabilities. Now that I think about it, can the current me only be hurt with attacks on Curse Series level strength? Then, my first objective should be to defeat Itsuki. And with me are Fyro, Atlas, Rishia, Ren, and the other Philo Reals. A perfect battle party. With this party, it will be easy to capture him alive. The only problem would be if Rishia betrays us, but I have an idea for that. What's wrong, Master? Fyro. But, I can be certain that some of my own brainwashed subordinates are there as well. I'm also taking that into account. Fyro and Ren can only inflict fatal blows, so I'll save them for enemy management and Itsuki. Atlas and Rishia can manipulate the invisible force of Chi, so I should send them to deal with the brainwashed slaves. Anyways, to stop two heroes, a Philo Real Queen, and an awakened Rishia, is probably impossible. All that's left is to trample them. Now then, Itsuki or Witch? Who's hiding here? Naofumi. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero Chapter 239, Opportunity. Anyways, the only thing we have to do is infiltrate the fortress and take out the leader. Naofumi. About that, Rishia. After hearing my order, Rishia timidly raises her hand. Though I have a general idea of what she's going to say. What? Naofumi. Hypothetically, only hypothetically, if we encountered Itsuki-sama. If we ended up fighting him, could you leave it to me? Rishia. What's the reason? Like female knight. Claire, do you plan on trying to persuade him? Naofumi. Yes. Could you leave that mission to me? Rishia. Well, if we did encounter Itsuki, I planned on detaining him. I want to avoid killing him if possible. But if he resists, it may escalate beyond that. Naofumi. I know. I still want to try talking to him. Rishia. Rishia has been working hard for the sake of my village. Rishia, will you let me participate as well? Ren. For some reason, Ren begins pleading to me as well. Just like I was offered a second chance, I want to try offering one to Itsuki. And for that purpose, I wish to lend my power. Ren. It's not that I don't see where he's coming from. I don't know how his situation is, but it may be similar to Ren's. And this is where we establish their relation. I do plan on harassing him a bit, but if he can become a convenient piece like Ren and Motoyasu, I should consider it. And it seems that killing heroes is bad. It's probably best to leave persuading him to others. Even if he ends up dying, we can say something like, "We tried to persuade him, but he showed great resistance," or something like that. Understood. But Rishia, if you and Ren end up cornered, you need to abandon that mission. Is that alright with you? Naofumi. Yes. Rishia. Thank you, Naofumi. Ren. Don't say such disgusting things. Naofumi. Ren's dedication sends shivers down my spine. If he were broken like Motoyasu, I could just keep my distance, but he seems to have developed a strange sense of justice. I don't have a good compatibility with him. And wait, was Ren always this hot-blooded? He was supposed to be a cold-blooded cool person. Though he wasn't a bad person from the start. Kua. Galeon. I hear a voice from above, and when I look up, I see Galeon with Tanako aboard his back. I'm surprised they were able to track us. So you're finally here. Naofumi. Did you manage to turn over the remnants? Ren. Yeah. I handed them to the princess. Tanako. I see. Naofumi. And I told them the situation, and was sent to bring a message. She said it was something the heroes probably didn't know. Tanako. An order from Melty? She seems to be well informed about the heroes. The queen also seems to love the legends. But the only part of it that shows normally is her love of Philo Reals. What was it again? It was something she found out from an old book in Fabuli, Tanako. Tanako tried hard to remember. Why didn't she just bring Melty along? Though Melty's probably busy with dealing with the rebellion. Is it okay over there? Satan is there too, so it should work out. According to the children's books, after the demon lord was defeated, the people had their brainwashing dispelled, and everyone lived happily ever after. But according to the old book, the brainwashing persisted even after he was defeated. Tanako. What? Then what? Even if Itsuki is the mastermind, if we defeat him the brainwashing won't be dispelled, and the only cure for the infectious pandemic is my shield prison? My head hurts. So to save everyone, I have to take them one by one and put them into a magically reinforced shield? Just how tedious is that supposed to be? Though it's eventually something I'll have to do. I didn't need to know that. Naofumi. I had considered the possibility, but I wanted to believe there was some other way. Fui, Rishia. That sounds rough. Ren. Then we must simply quell the fire by killing everyone who opposes us. Atlas. Then there's no helping it. Atlas's heartless words draw me back to reality. She truly is from a violent race. The amount of people potentially saved, and the amount of victims don't balance out. In a situation where the vaccine itself is limited, it's just a dream to be able to save every patient. Anyways, for now our mission is to charge their base and bring out the ringleader. Let's go. Naofumi. Yeah. We can figure out the details later. Perhaps we may even find the solution in there. Ren. Let's go. No matter what happens, I won't give up. Rishia. Rishia has grown. She still goes Fui, but she's started complaining a lot less. She's been obediently following my orders, and I've given her an opportunity to face Itsuki. Though I have no idea whether she'll be able to convince him or not. And so, we stormed the fortress armor retreated into from the front. Inside the fortress were some remnants of the three-hero church, and some brainwashed soldiers and adventurers protecting them. But none of them were particularly strong. There are none of my former slaves here. Perhaps it's because they're right in the middle of an opportunity to take down the country. They've dispersed their forces away from the base. The Philo Real armor was collapsed, exhausted, near the entrance, so I quickly put it in a shield prison. For the sake of justice, die. Demon Lord. Prepare yourself. All is for the three-hero church. The remnants shout to incite the justice zombies. But they're the smallest of small fries. Ren and Rishia knock them out in an instant. They are victims, after all. These two can't bring themselves to kill them. Ta. It doesn't seem that they're holding back against the remnants, though. Rishia embedded her throwing knife into the arm of a priest-like person, cancelling out the coral magic he was preparing. Gwaya! You bastard! Priest! Gravity sword! Ren! Ren's sword changes to a dark transparent material as he slashes his enemy. And the enemy collapses as if a force was pushing them towards the ground. Ugu. A new move. Neofumi. Yeah, it came with the spirit turtle sword. Ren. I see, Neofumi. This was the perfect time to test it. I'm also testing out my S-float shield. As I thought, it was a skill to increase the amount of float shield. And it works in tandem with E-float shield. Its maintenance cost is low, so it feels like my E-float shield has powered up. Neofumi, that floating shield is kinda cool. Ren. Really? It moves as I wish, so it's quite convenient. Neofumi. In the past, there was a protagonist who fought with 2 floating shields. It was a game where girls crossed blades. If only I could use swords and bows like that protagonist. My life would be much easier. TL, apparently the game is Valkyrie profile, Lenneth. I can't vouch for it, as I only played Covenant. And Ren, what sort of skill does your blade have? Neofumi. It seems to use gravity to obstruct an enemy's movement. It also has a skill called Soul Steal. Ren. That's an ominous sounding skill. I've seen a protagonist take an attack of the same name, and die instantly. Though that was just an event battle. The game didn't end there, and some bosses who could use that skill popped up later. TL, I think this is Romancing Saga 2. Soul Steal. Ren. As I'm lost in thought, Ren uses the skill without restraint. His target is a 3-hero church follower, so I guess there's no problem with an insta-kill skill. Gufu. Ren slices the opponent he had immobilized with gravity. A blue light flies out of his target, and assimilates into him. I check the follower he defeated. TL, there's no response. It's just a corpse. He's not dead. But his face is pale. Goo. My magic is. Goo, follower. Ren's blade robs targets of their ability to move, and he follows up with this skill. And it seems it was no Zantestuken. But insta-kills sound way too convenient, probably. Ah, this is an SP recovery drain skill. Ren. It seems that this one has no magic left. Neofumi. There seems to be a difference between SP and magic, but I still can't understand it. Its cooldown time is long, so I can't use it consecutively. Ren. I see, but it seems convenient. Neofumi. Atlas pokes me in the side. What is it? Neofumi. The magic that entered Ren-san resonated with his weapon, and changed in nature. Atlas. Neofumi. So Atlas can sense that sort of thing as well. She's quite convenient. Should I nickname her Convenient Woman? No, that's dangerous. In multiple ways. EI. Fyro. Fyro lightly kicks the leftover enemies, and we proceed forward. The Galian plus Tanako pair seems to be competing with the Fyro plus Philo Real group in taking down enemies. This building is larger than I thought it would be. Neofumi. The building had an arena-like institution, and was littered with strange statues. I can't figure out its purpose. Another surprising thing was that the entrance was an ornate Western-style door. It rivaled the Melromark Palace door in construction. Eventually, we reached a door that was locked. Though I just order Fyro and Galian to break it down. What are these strange items that are littered all over the floor? It's like a game I used to play, where fiddling with the needle of an old clock would make a key appear. Just what was the maker of this building trying to accomplish? Read The Rising of the Shield Hero Chapter 240, Research Material. Is this supposed to be an old RPG dungeon, Neofumi? There were plenty of traps, but we managed to destroy them through physical means. Rocks chased us, and the ceiling fell on us, but Fyro and Galian dealt with these one way or another. The rocks were kicked to oblivion. The ceiling? I acted as a pillar of support while Fyro and Galian competed in destroying it. How should I put this? The Justice zombies and traps made a certain post-apocalyptic gameplay back in my head. We've been scouting for around 30 minutes, and we've managed to proceed quite far. At one point, we found a passage that led outside. The exit was a cave-like structure. Could this have been the one that Keel was talking about? There were also prison-like rooms arranged in a grid formation. The Devil of the Shield's subordinate asylum was scribbled on them. Finally, we emerge in a room that seems to be a research lab. Looking over the documents scattered around, a certain one catches my eye. We did an analysis of their combat strength, but it seems that was all based on second-hand information. Their actual strength is estimated to be much lower. Various plans to harass my territory, such as the commandeering of my bioplant field, are written, but it seems they've been put on hiatus. There are plenty of test tubes like the ones in Rat's lab, so it seems that an alchemist has been here. Also, just how large is this building? Neofumi. There's a document about me here too. Ren. Ren begins flipping through a document with his name on the cover. The problem is that his reading skills are not that high, so he doesn't seem to understand what's written. Estimated level, 75, but actual level estimated to be higher. Skill level allows for him to take out a group of 20 level 80 enemies. Danger level, average. How sad. According to Mald, his swordsmanship isn't very high. According to the princess's testimony, the possibility that he will help our cause is low. And as such, we will decrease his power by taking any useful equipment or funding he may hold. Well, you know. Ren wasn't really fighting for real, so it's not like you can estimate his strength from that. And the Ren of that time really wasn't particularly strong. However, just by relying on the power of the legendary weapon, he was without a doubt stronger than armor. It seems that the reason for which abandoning you is documented here. Neofumi. Really? Ren. Apparently, the possibility that he will help our cause is low. Neofumi. Of course. Neofumi is one thing, but if a group wanted to take over the country, I'd probably refuse. I think. Ren. No, that's where you should be certain. Neofumi. Yeah, the me of that time was a little messed up, so I don't really have confidence that Ren. The old you was supposed to be a self-proclaimed, cool, analytical character, right? You'd probably have left them without saying anything. Neofumi. Don't put it so bluntly, but you're probably right. Ren. My document is next to his. It's quite thick. Estimated level, impossible to determine. Danger level, maximum. God class. Reports indicate that he was able to block the spirit turtle's attacks, but the truth is unclear. Still, it can be concluded that he has very high defense. His weak point would be his low attack, but he has been starting to build up forces. Urgent countermeasures are required. Without careful planning and resources, defeating him will probably be impossible. Within my forces, the most detailed reports are ones about Raphtalia and Pyro. My forces had planned to have their subordinates dress up as robbers, and attack Raphtalia when she was out training, or Pyro when she was peddling. They were to awaken them to the notion of justice. But the plan failed, and their agents' whereabouts have yet to be determined. I don't know where, but it seems we've already had a victory against them. Raphtalia's group probably apprehended them and turned them into the nearest town. Only people like Atlas would be able to see anything special about that dagger anyways. There's also a report of using the sword hero to test my ability. This one seems to be quite recent. Estimated level 100. If we send a large amount of disposable pawns trained in dealing with his shield, victory may be possible. We will send our trump card, Mald, to finish him with the strongest equipment. This is theoretically the most effective measure. This is Neofumi. A grave mistake. The work of a fool. I'm sorry, but it seems your expectations have betrayed you. I was already able to stop their strongest equipment. I guess that's something they weren't expecting. The next few documents about me seem to be a little older. They're things like learning Henjin Musu in order to break through my defense. Apparently, acquisition of the techniques proved to be too difficult, and the plan was put on hiatus. Well, that martial art required quite a bit of talent and a lot of experience. They didn't have that much time, so it was impossible to learn for people who only wanted strength to inflate their own egos. Besides, the current me can negate a weak defense breaching attack. There were many other plans proposed, but in the end, they shifted towards infecting my subordinates with justice. How troublesome. Put your useless efforts towards something more productive. Master, there's something strange about this wall. Phiro. 4 reals. Destroy it. Neofumi. What about solving puzzles? Don't care. There's probably a key somewhere around here, but searching for it is a pain. An officer of the Three Hero Church is probably holding it, and I don't need it. Yes. Phiro. Kua. Galeon. Phiro and Galeon competitively reduce the wall to rubble. It seems there was a secret door somewhere in it, and behind it is a single room. It's more research data. Neofumi. Upon entering the room, I found many more documents piled up. What is this? Reproducing the hero's weapons. Neofumi. I read the document from the start. It's a report on the weapon the Pope used. It spoke of maintenance cost and how to imbue it with magic. They looked at the problem from quite a few angles. Apparently, these weapons were items of a lost civilization, and reproducing them with modern alchemy was difficult. Yet, they planned to aim for mass production. In the end, it ended in failure. However, if we can capture a hero test subject, research will advance leaps and bounds. Neofumi. After that was a sketch of something labeled as a fragment of a weapon. A sketch of a fragment of the Demon Lord's weapon. I'm pretty sure that legendary weapons couldn't be damaged. So there was something like that. Also, where the hell did Armor run off to? He probably proceeded smoothly with a key. I'm fed up already. I'll have the Queen send people to look over this research later. There's no end to these stacks of paper. And, continuing our pursuit, we end up going deeper and deeper into the lab. We pass by a test tube. It is filled with a strange liquid, and a dagger is suspended in it. This seems to be the origin of those weapons. Atlas, can you see anything? Neofumi. Yes. The evil aura is coming from over there. Atlas. Atlas points to the source of the pipeline connected to the test tube. Well, that's obvious. It's gotten stronger than before. Atlas. Then the origin may be over there. Neofumi. Should we go over and do some collection? I think Rat would be delighted here. I wasn't able to procure that much funding, so maybe I'll repossess some of these facilities and recycle them. Kua. Galeon. Galeon looks ahead as he tugs on my cuff. What is it? Neofumi. I smell the scent of treasure from over there. Galeon. Leave it. Neofumi. In the end, he's still a dragon. Later, I'll repossess that too. Though I have no idea where they got their treasure from. Yay. You got him mad. Phiro. And Phiro is Phiro. Anyways, while we were messing around as such, we arrive in a wide room. There, Armor is tapping on a stone tablet as if it were a keyboard. So this is where you went. Thanks for leading us here. As a reward, I'll send you to the other world. Neofumi, TL, as in the afterlife. Ku. So you're already here, Demon Lord of the Shield. Armor. There were quite a few interesting gadgets set up, but we destroyed them all. Didn't you hear us get here? Neofumi. What is he doing, anyways? Armor gives a wide smile as he places his finger on the stone tablet. But you're too late. We've already fulfilled our purpose. Armor. By this pattern, something's going to pop out, right? As I think that, the ground behind Armor splits in two, and something rises out of it. From the looks of it, it's another test tube. Neofumi-sama. Atlas. What? Neofumi. There's a fearsome, ominous aura emanating from over there. I assume it to be the progenitor of this incident. Atlas. I see. Neofumi. What's going to come out? Usually in these situations, a large monster is summoned. And then Armor would become a sacrifice and get killed by it. Ha ha ha. Armor. I ignore the laughing Armor and gaze into the test tube. Wadash, Naofumi. The hero of the bow, Itsuki, was lying down inside of it. But he seems a little strange. Byofu. Itsuki. His eyes are covered, and a gag ball is in his mouth, preventing him from speaking. What sort of joke is this? He's probably been forcefully apprehended. The fact that I'm imagining S&M scenarios makes me question my own psyche. Anyways, it's not a pretty scene. I want to laugh. Just when I was wondering where he had gone, I find him confined here. Itsuki? What happened to you? Ren. Fui. Rishia. In a contrast to my amusement, Ren and Rishia seem highly troubled. But, I guess their reactions are the correct ones here. I feel that if Raphtalia were here, she would put pressure on me. Is that your trump card? Naofumi. Isn't Itsuki supposed to be a false prophet to this guy? Did he lose hope and come crying to Itsuki for help? Then why is Itsuki in a test tube? Now awaken. It's time to annihilate the demon lord of the shield. Armor.